Hello everyone. Welcome you to the second session of this literature survey. And starting with this strategy to strategy to search of different literatures. Basically, if you see the classification, it is three different types. By these three different ways, you can search the different research. And if you see that searching a literature, it takes a huge amount of time if you will not follow a particular method. That's why if someone will use this kind of techniques, it will be really helpful for them to save that particular time. Then out of these three, first one is the very conventional one that is related to the keyword research, a keyword search. That is basically the systematic manual search. By writing the particular keyword related to that particular topic, you can do the analysis and you can find the research articles. That is very conventional for any kind of researchers. Generally, what happens whenever we used to search any kind of articles related to a particular area, we type that particular, by typing that particular keyword related to that article, and we find a lot of research article related to that area. You can type in the Google Scholar, and you can type if you want to find the article related to your Elsevier. You have to type to Science Direct. Likewise, by typing the keyword, you can search different articles, and you can consider that article for your research work. But rest to this backward chronological search and forward chronological search, these two are really very vital. Why this is very vital? Because if you see this backward chronological search, what is that? Backward chronological search is basically if you are finding one suitable article. Now and now you have to see that article's reference, and in that if you are finding a number of reference and that references will be more or less similar to that particular area, without searching any article from the internet, you can directly follow that references article of that particular research article. That will consider to be a backward chronological search. Means suppose you are getting five different number of article related to your area. Now what you will have to do for the backward chronological search, you have to see the uh, references of that five articles. And if you follow the references and if you download all these articles related to that references, that will be considered to be a article related to your area of research, and that kind of search is considered to be a backward chronological search. The next is forward chronological search. What is that? It is basically considered to be a citation based. Suppose you found a research article which is really very popular in your research area, in your area of interest. What will happen? That article, if you search in Google Scholar, then you'll find number of cited, uh, paper by considering that particular article. Means if you search in Google Scholar, you'll find that the number of article which in which they have used that article as a reference. Now you can consider that number of article where that article has been considered as a reference. That is basically called as a forward chronological search. By using these two technique, what happens? You can easily save your time. Easily save your time. Why? Because your unlike your keyword search, you'll have to search a number of article and you'll have to find and you have to check whether the article is the authentic one or not. Now directly, if you consider one or two articles and if you see their reference and if you see their citation, from that you will get a number of articles which will be helpful for you to carry out your research work. That is basically called as your forward and backward chronological search. Now the different type of publisher, because see, it is really very important to uh, go for the literature survey by considering the different publisher. Means on which publisher, the publisher, the article from which publisher you want to search or you want to follow for carry out your research work. In that case, at least you have to follow the publisher who is a very important, which is a very authentic one, which is very famous one. In that case, what will happen? You will not be in trouble uh, related to the this where this pet journal. You can consider the predictive journal. So this major publisher like generally which we follow, that is your this Elsevier, Springer, this Taylor and Francis, Nature, Wiley, this many publishing. At the same time, the other society journal like your APS, American Physical Society, AIP, American Institute of Physics, this SES, that is American Chemical Society, American Society of Mechanical Engineering. All these things, they are the society journal which are very very prestigious. You can follow their research article or carry out your research work. That's why always it is very vital, because if you follow a good paper, in that case the amount of knowledge, a amount of uh, concept which you'll gain related to that area, that will be really good. That's why always try to prefer, yeah, always try to search for a good journal of a good publisher. Now this online assess how to search that kind of journal. You can, if you want to find out the journal related to your uh, Elsevier, directly you have to go to this Science Direct, and from that you'll able to get a lot of journal related to your Elsevier. Likewise, different different your this links are there. Yeah, different journals websites are there where you will be able to get the particular article from their website only. Generally, this is very famous on the Science Direct. Those who try to publish, those who try to search the article of Elsevier directly, you can put the keyword. Yeah, you can put the search from the article name by which you will get the option, and from that you can download. Likewise, this Informa World, all these things are there, which will help you to assess the journal articles, assess the articles through online. Now next is your process of literature review. What are the different process that everyone has to follow, everyone will have to follow while doing their literature review? And these things, it is I cannot say that it is a mandatory procedure. It depends on person to persons. Some of the scientists, some of the researchers, they can follow the other procedure, they can follow their own procedure, but it is a in general one to carry out, to uh, go for the literature survey, a literature review. These are the seven steps to producing a literature survey. The first one is identifying a question. Means on which area you want to do the research, and that question you'll have to find out. Means formulating your research work. Then on the basis of that, you'll have to search from the internet. Next is review discipline styles. Means how we will do the review in that particular articles. That is also very important. Means on which style, like you will follow a chronological one, you will follow a technological one, on which basis you want to do the search. Next is search the literature. On the basis of that, you can go for searching the literature, and you can find out your research finding from that particular paper. The next is your manage your references. Whenever you are trying to download some journals related to your work, in that case, by downloading the journal, you have to maintain the references, which will help you to finding. It will be help you to choose your particular paper related to that area. Then your critically analysis and evaluate. Means what are the things you are finding from the article that you can write. from in a tabular manner that we'll discuss in the next slide. That is a critical analyze and evaluation, then synthesize, then write here review. It is basically related to the you know uh, if you have selected a particular if you have selected a particular area, in that case you will get a number of paper, and this kind of literature survey, this process of literature survey, which will help you to write a review article. And that review article you can publish in a good journal if you are doing a literature survey in a systematic manner, and if you are following these certain steps, which will be helpful for you to carry out your literature survey. Then next is literature survey list. How to go for the literature survey? Because the thing why this thing is important. Whenever you are selecting the articles related to a particular area, you'll find a n number of articles. And the next thing is that not it is not mandatory to go through all the articles which you have downloaded or which you have marked for your research, because for any topic you will find n number of articles, and it is really tough for any researchers to go through all this research article which he has downloaded. Now you have to segregate the article on the basis of their importance. Now on the basis of the importance, you'll have to mark whether I'll follow that one, whether I will not follow that one, and some articles you'll have to follow in a group that if necessary I'll have to go through that. Now how to segregate that one, it will be completely depend upon the this number of citation. If generally I'm not saying that this is universal truth, but it happens if you are getting a number of paper related to a particular area, and and out of that number of papers, if you're finding that 4 or 5 papers are there, yes, 10 papers are there which have a very good number of citation, in that case it is you can assume that that kind of articles are really important related to your area of interest, and you can consider that article for carry out your literature survey. That is basically called as the important article. The next is your non-important article, then other one is your average article. Those who are having very less number of citation, that is called as your non-important article. And average article, if those article, some articles they will have a very mediocre number of your citation, in that case you can consider as your average number of article. Now on the basis of that you can select whether I will go through the article, means whether I'll read that article, or whether I won't read the article, or I'll keep the article in a group that by which if necessary I'll go, otherwise I'll keep the article in that group only. On the basis of this thing only, you will have to if you segregate that one, it will be easy for you to carry out your literature survey, because whenever you find a number of articles related to a particular area, what will happen, a number of articles you will find, you have to segregate on the basis of that. You have to make different folder, and uh, whenever it is required, you may have to go for the non-important also, but generally people what they do, they go for the important article and average kind of articles. Now, the your literature review metrics. What is the metrics means? How the people they will do the literature survey? Because at the starting, when I gave the definition, it was like a, just just going through some of the articles in a particular topic in a systematic manner, which will be helpful for that particular researchers to keep the track of all the articles, keep the track of all the research gap, research finding, and in that case it will be easy for them to find out the objective from the your detailed study of the research work. That's why in this particular slide I have mentioned some of the points by which if you make such kind of table, and if you do the literature in that way, it will be easy for the researchers to carry out their research work. And the first is like, the six steps are there, six groups are there, like number, serial number, references, study parameter on what if the article is based, then the focus, gap, and finding. This basically the gap, you can keep this gap at the last, and finding you can keep in the second last, which will be easy for you, that will be easy for you. So in this way only, if you arrange the number of article, that will be helpful for you. Now see, in this particular case, I have arranged that article in a particular fashion. See, the first one is the serial number, then the references, and these references, what you can do is, in the reference part, you have to write the details of these references. Here only the author's name and the journal names are there. Direct in the references, if someone will go the serial number one, you will find the details of that. Then next is the study parameter. What are the things? It depends on the research to research. As it is experimental based research, so I have written as your study parameter on which the experiment is based on. That's why I have written the parameters out here. But if it is a mathematical one, if it is a computational one, in that case, you have to write in your own way. The next is focus. What are the things has been focused on that particular article? That is also very vital. In main concept, the main keyword of that particular research work. That also you will have to write while doing the literature review. The next is your finding. Finding means from that particular article, what are the finding you got? Means what are the result that particular authors has been have been presented in that article. That also you have to mention in that particular table. Then now the last one will be your research gap. That is really vital, because already I have mentioned that no research is perfect and you won't get all a complete result from a single article. And definitely there will be a research gap in each article that you'll have to mention in the gap. And on the basis of that particular gap, you'll have to select here, you'll have to fix your objective of your research work. You'll have to formulate your research problem on the basis of the gap, by which what will happen, you'll get a novelty work, because gap means the work which has not been done. And if you go through that gap, if you follow a particular gap, it will be helpful for that particular researchers to we can say that go for a good quality research work. Now, the literature review analysis. How you will segregate this literature review, and that depends upon the authors to author, and also depend upon the area of research. Generally, what happens? People they used to segregate, if or they used to sequence the review on the basis of chronological order, on the basis of the year of publication. They used to arrange that one. Next is the advancement of technology. That also happens if different methods and different technology has been used in that particular work. You can segregate the number of work. You can segregate the work on the basis of the uh, advancement. Means on the basis of technology A, you can segregate the number of article. Then you can segregate on the basis of technology B. You can segregate on the basis of technology C, by which it will be helpful for the reader, for the researchers, when you will go through that particular literature analysis or literature review analysis. It will be helpful for him to go through that particular survey. Then weakness and strength. Generally, if someone is doing a research and he found that some article they have considered the positive aspect of that particular topic, and some paper they have considered the negative yeah, negative side of that particular topic. So on the basis of that also you can you can segregate your work. Then geographical, it is basically generally what happens. It is for the statistical kind of work. They segregate the article on the basis of the location. Then it generally helps to them to carry out their research work. That is basically called as a geographical. And last one is a question. Question is basically it the authors at the particular person who is doing the literature survey. You'll have to asks the question that on which basis I want to segregate my research, yeah, this literature survey. On the basis of that, you can do the literature survey. For example, I'm giving, if someone is interested for doing the literature related to the application of a particular thin film coating in a biomedical field. Now in biomedical, there are blood cells are there, backbones are there, a lot of things are there. Now on the basis of a particular biomedical application, you can segregate the number of articles. These are the literature review analysis, means organizing techniques and pattern. Then writing the literature review and analysis. Actually, it is based on the summarized sources and provide transitional connection between each group of references, and at the same time highlight the past research accomplishment. Whenever someone is writing a literature review, in that case you'll have to write about the past accomplishment of that particular paper and that particular area. Also he has to evaluate the weakness and the gap of the previous research work, because that is very important, because previously if someone has done and if you repeat that particular kind of work, it won't be suit for you, and it won't be you can consider that it won't be ethical basically. That's why the work which has been already done, that you don't consider. The work, the research gap which you found from that particle, that you will have to consider. Then evaluate the weakness and gap of the previous research that we discussed. The next is connect the review analysis with your research. Means review analysis means if someone if you are following someone's work, in that case you can write all the work which we have done on that particular day in a systematic manner, and this connect the review analysis with your research. It is basically whatever things you found from others paper, now you can connect your work related to the published paper related to other people work in that particular field. Now, I have mentioned some of the golden point for the literature survey, and these are the things the researchers can, can remember. The first one is report the status and accomplishment of the previous researchers. It is really very vital, because literature survey research is completely based on the other people's work related to that particular area. If you won't follow anyone works, in that case you may have to face a severe problem related to that particular topic. So whenever someone is doing a literature survey, first and foremost thing is that he has to find the work of other researchers in that, yeah, previous researchers in that particular topic. Then next is evaluate the weakness of the previous researchers, because you have to set your objective, and that objective you can set once you find out the objective, or sorry, once you find out the research gap or the limitation of that particular articles. That's why it said that evaluate the weakness of previous researchers. Then group the article together based on a certain criteria. Just in the previous slide, when I was discussing how you can group the article on the basis of different criteria, now in the golden rule, according to the golden rule, it is saying that it is really advisable to group the article according to a certain condition. That condition is depends upon you, how on which basis you can take that condition. That is also very vital. Next is provide a critical thinking. Now, from the literature survey, from the research gap, what critical thinking which is coming to your mind, that also you can write, and that will be also helpful for the researchers to doing the research work. And link the review with what you want to do for your research. Now, what review you have done, what gap you have found, now you can link your area of interest of what you have thought on the work which has been already done by other people related to that area. That you have to go through a thorough literature survey. Then you can go for the this. Uh, then you can go for the uh, yeah, analysis of review. This is basically the golden rule for carry out of a literature survey, a literature review of a particular topic. And this review article, it is really very important for any kind of researchers, whether it's a where primary researcher means the researchers at the starting level, with the experienced one. Researcher survey is very vital to get a up-to-date knowledge related to a particular topic. As at the starting, I gave the example that if you won't go through the literature survey, in that case, what will happen? You will not be suitable. You will not be, you know, you will not be. What I can say is very much wise to carry out your research work in that particular area. That's why that is really important literature survey. That's why that is this literature survey is basically considered to be a backbone of the research. Those the people who will do a better literature survey, he can formulate a he can for develop his your research. We can say that your research topic very easily and very in a very effective way, which will help him to progress in his research career. Okay, thank you.